Alright, so this is lesson 5.3, parallel and perpendicular lines. So this is the last lesson for this week. And so what we want to do is we want to take a look and see what the relationship is between the slopes of parallel lines and the slopes of perpendicular lines. So let's just go through. You can actually go through this little worksheet on, these first 2 pages. You can go through and do these on your own for a bit. So stop the video, go ahead and do them, see how you do, and then you can come back to the video and you'll see what the answers are. Alright, so graph both lines on the same grid, A, 0, negative 3, so I'm just going to go 2, 4, 6. Again, I hate it when there is no scale on a graph. You don't need the whole scale. Alright, 0, negative 3 is right here. 4, 9, 6, 8, there's 9 right there, so 4, 9 is right there. And we just want to plot that line segment. Okay, slope of that line, that's going to be a rise of 12. It's a rise of 12 over a run of 4. So that's 12 over 4. So slope equals 12 over 4, and 12 over 4 equals a slope of 3, or 3 over 1. So that's a slope of 3. Then line 2, 1 negative 7, sorry, 1 positive 7 will be right here. And negative 4, negative 8 will be down here. Okay. Straight line with a ruler. Okay, rise, overrun. That's 8 and 7, that's 15. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope of this one is 15 over 5, which also equals 3. How are the lines related? Well, those 2 lines sure look parallel to me. So the slopes are the same, they're parallel. And the slopes are equal. Notice I wouldn't have known the slopes are equal if I didn't reduce those 2 slopes. You always have to reduce your slopes or you're going to make incorrect observations. Okay, let's do these 2 lines, E and F. Okay, E is negative 7, so this is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, that's 4. Negative 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is X, that's Y. All right, negative 7 and 6 will be right there. That's point E. And 5, negative 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be way down here. All right. That's F. Okay, slope of this line. Let's see. We've got negative 7 minus 3 over 0 plus 8. It's negative 10 over 8. That's negative 5 over 4. Negative 5 over 4. Wait, oh, I did the wrong one. That's not negative 5 over 4. Sorry, it's wrong. Get rid of all that. I used the wrong points. Sorry. That'll be negative 9 minus 6 over 5 minus negative 7 is negative 15 over 12, which is negative 5 over 4. Negative 5 over 4. Okay, line 2, I'll do it in a different color. Negative 8 and 3, which is right there. And 0 and negative 7 is there. Okay, these look parallel, so this is G and D. And I'll do the slope over here. So -7 minus 3 over 0 minus -8 is -10 over 8, which is -5 over 4 as well. They are parallel and the slopes are equal. All right, conclusion. When lines have the slopes that are the same, then the lines are parallel. All right, that was your conclusion on that page. Now let's take a look at this page. Graph both lines on the same grid. All right, -4, 4, 4, -4, x, y. All right, -2, -5 will be right there. That's A. And then 2, 7 will be right there. B. Okay, slope. 7 minus -5 over 2 minus -2, which is 12 over 4, which to me, that's 3. That's line 1 is 3, okay. And 5, 1 is here. And -7, 6, -7, and 5 will be right there. Okay, this is C and D, and the slope of that is 5 minus 1 over -7 minus 5, which is 4 over -12, which equals -1/3. -1/3. Okay, how do these lines look? To me, they look like they are at 90 degrees to each other. So they are perpendicular, and their slopes are, see, 3 is the same as 3 over 1, and then 1/3. So that's flipped. That would be the reciprocal. 1 is positive and 1 is negative. So that answer is slopes are negative reciprocals. All right, I'm not going to do the next one because I think you're going to see the same idea. It turns out that they are also perpendicular and their slopes are negative reciprocals. So when the lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals, then the lines are perpendicular. All right. So this little part of the worksheet, you're just taking a look at what you're given, and then you're either making the equation or you're figuring out all the information in there. So I'll do the first couple. The slope of this first line is -7 over 4. The y-intercept is equal to 2, because this is in y equals mx plus b form. The m is the coefficient on the x, and the b is the number that is being added on the end. A slope that is parallel to -7/4 would be -7/4. The slopes stay the same. Perpendicular to that would be +4/7. So you want to flip the fraction over and change the sign. Now, a line that is steeper than -7/4, you just want to have a number further away from 0. So this is further from 0 to get steeper. Further from 0, any number further from 0. And this has to be closer to 0. So -7/4 is -1 3/4. So I'm just going to say -2 will be steeper, because that is further away from 0 than -7/4. And closer to 0, -1. I mean, you can put any numbers in there. You can put any fraction. I could put like -6/4 or -5/4, anything that is getting closer to 0. All right, next one. The y-intercept is equal to 8. A parallel slope is 2/3, so that means that my slope must be 2/3 because that's parallel to it. The perpendicular slope would be -3/2. something steeper. Now, when you're doing the steeper and the less steep, you're always going back to the first column, the slope of the slope. Not the parallel, the perpendicular, but the slope. So, steeper than 2/3, anything further away from 0 than 2/3. So 1 is further away from 0. Closer to 0 would be 1/3. Again, the answers in these last two columns, you can pick whatever numbers you want. And the equation, since the slope is 2/3, so that'll be y equals 2/3 x, and the y-intercept is 8, so that'll be 2/3 x plus 8. All right, the next one, the slope is 2, the y-intercept is -9. Parallel slope would be 2. Perpendicular slope, flip that 2 over so it becomes 1/2 and add a negative sign. Steeper than 2, anything bigger than 2, 3 works. Less steep than 2, anything smaller than 2, 1 works. Okay, the next one, we have a perpendicular slope is -1/4, so a slope that's parallel to the line that we're looking at, we need to flip that over, so that would be 1/4, and change its sign. So the sign is going to be positive. That means that this slope is also going to be 1/4. All right, steeper, we go back to 1/4. Anything bigger than 1/4, 1 is bigger than 1/4. Anything less than 1/4, well, an 1/8 is less than 1/4. A 1/5 is less than 1/4. Anything that's less than 1/4. And then the equation in this case, the slope is 1/4 x, and the y-intercept is 10/3. Okay, now this line, x equals -4. We haven't actually really talked too much about this. We did a little bit. So what this means is a line where the x-coordinate is always going to be 4. All right, so this is a little different than any other line that we've looked at. So these are, I'm going to just come back to this part of the paper just to talk about this. So if I have a line, there's an x value of 4. The x-coordinate, it says x always, sorry, we want -4. X always has to equal -4. So that point, the x-coordinate is -4. I don't even know what the y-coordinate is. I don't care. It could be 5 maybe. That point, the x-coordinate is -4, -4, -4, -4, -4. This is a perpendicular line. Sorry, a vertical line. Vertical. So x equals -4 is the equation of that line. Okay, they're kind of weird. And then for horizontal lines, that's going to be the next one. That's a really bad line. There we go. So x equals -4. It's a vertical line, so its slope is undefined. This is just a little bit of memory work. The y-intercept does not exist, so we're going to say NA, not available, or not applicable. A slope that is parallel to that will be undefined. And a slope that's perpendicular to that would be a horizontal line, so slopes of horizontal lines equal 0. Steeper slope than undefined, there isn't any steeper than vertical. But less steep, you can pick any number under the sun. You could pick 1,000,000. You can pick any number under the sun. I'm just going to say 1 because 1 is smaller than infinity. Okay? Now, for this one, the next one, the perpendicular slope is undefined. So that's perpendicular to the number that we're looking at. And so it is perpendicular to a horizontal line. So undefined lines and lines with a slope of 0 are perpendicular to each other. That means the slope of this is going to be 0. Now this is saying that the y-intercept is equal to 7. It's a line that has 0 slope, which means it is a horizontal line. This one is vertical. It's a horizontal line going through 7. Well, just like this has equation of x equals -4, because the x coordinate is always -4, for this one going through 7 on the y-axis, this is going to be called y equals 7. The slope is equal to 0, so that mx part, it will go away, and so y equals 7. That's a little confusing. Now, steeper than 0 is anything, like 1 works. And less steep than 0 can't happen. You can't be less steep than 0. Okay? And then this last example, or sorry, this isn't the last example. Graph and label the following lines on the same grid. So a parallel line, so something parallel to this line, but has a y-intercept of 4. So that means we need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to go through 4 on the y-axis. So we're not graphing this line. We're not graphing that one. We are trying to draw a line that is parallel to that, but the y-intercept is 4. So the slope is equal to -2/3, but the y-intercept is 4. So we want that point there, but then go down 2 and over 3. Down 2 and over 3. Up 2 and back 3. Up 2 and back 3. So that's going to be line A. So I'm not drawing y equals -2/3 x minus 7. I'm drawing a line parallel to that one. Okay, line B has undefined slope, so that means it's vertical. Oh, here I want to do a different color for this one. Let's go with green. So undefined slope means vertical and has an x-intercept of -8. So 5, 6, 7, -8 is right here, and it's got to be vertical, so it's got to look like this. Okay. Okay, line C. Let's pick another color. Let's go with, I don't know, how about navy blue? Okay, perpendicular to this line. So the slope of this line equals 5/2. So I want perpendicular to that. So the symbol for perpendicular is an upside down T. Perpendicular slope means I need to flip that over, so make it 2/5 and change the sign to a negative. So perpendicular, so the slope of the line I want to draw has to be -2/5, and it has to have a y-intercept of 4 again. So there's my y-intercept of 4 again, but now I want to go down 2 and over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plot a point. Or up 2 and back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up to 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have quite enough room. Okay, so there's line C. Okay, there we go. That's line C. I forgot to label line B. All right, now let's do line D. I'll make this one, how about brown? Okay. Goes through the point 4, -7. So where's 4, -4, -7. So there's -4, -7. And it's perpendicular to this line. So the slope of this line is -2 or -2/1. A perpendicular slope, you want to change the sign so it becomes positive and flip it over. So negative reciprocal for perpendicular. So that means that my rise is 1, my run is 2. So from that point, I don't know what the y-intercept is of this new line. I just know that it's going through -4, -7. So I rise 1, run 2. There's a point. rise 1, run 2, there's a point, rise 1, run 2, rise 1, run 2, just keep on going. And that is line D. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Again, if you're having any troubles, oh no, sorry, it's not it. I have one more thing to draw here. Graph the following lines on the same grid. Prove that the shape formed by the points of intersection is a right-angled triangle using slopes. So I'm going to do the second part first. The slope of this one is -3/2. The slope of this one is +1/3. The slope of this one is 2/3. If you take a look at this slope and this slope, they are negative reciprocals. Negative reciprocals. Therefore, they are perpendicular. And perpendicular means meets at 90 degrees, which means it's going to have to be a right angle triangle. So the first line has a y-intercept of 4 and a slope of -3/2. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. Remember that negative sign either goes with the 3 or with the 2. It doesn't go with both. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. Or up 3, back 2. All right, there's that line. Not doing a very good job. Okay, there's that one. It's line number 1, number 1. I'll do the other one in another color. So this will be line number 2. Y-intercept is -4 on this one. And the slope is 1/3. So rise 1, run 3. 1, 2, right there. Rise 1, run 3. Rise 1, run 3. Down 1, back 3. Down 1, back 3. Oops, that's only 2. Down 1, back 3. Okay, let's draw that line. Okay. And now number 3, I'll do in orange. Okay, y-intercept is -8. 5, 6, 7. There's -8 right there. We are going to rise 2 and run 3. Rise 2, run 3. 1, 2, 3. Rise 2, run 1, 2, 3. Rise 2, run 1, 2, 3. Rise 2, run 1, 2, 3. Be somewhere over here. Okay, so this is going to do this. Okay, at some point these two off the grid, sorry about that, didn't mean for that to happen. They're going to meet. These two are the two that are perpendicular. So that is definitely a right angle triangle. Okay, 1 and 3 are perpendicular to each other, so we can show that with that little square in the corner. So that is a right angled triangle. Right angled triangle. Okay, all right, that's it. Again, any questions, please contact me.